The Spongebob Squarepants Secret Lair has officially been announced, and if you listen quietly, faintly, maybe put your hand up to your ear and you can listen, you can hear the faint sounds of Magic the Gathering boomers crying about SpongeBob ruining and devastating their game. But if you choose to look at it objectively for what it is, you'll see that this is actually not this like horrible product that everyone made it out to be, because there are no mechanically unique cards. It is just reskins, very similar to what we've gotten from a bunch of other properties and IPs. And again, I say this every time we talk about Secret Lairs. I feel like Secret Lair exists as its own entity where it's more about the art and the artists and the collectability. So it's not, bleeding into your game with SpongeBob taking over Magic. It's just some reskins of cards that already exist. And so while I understand there are some valid concerns with Universes Beyond across the board, I personally don't mind it. I think I prefer the regular Magic the Gathering stuff, but I think Universes Beyond, when it's a property that people care about, when it's interesting, can really enhance the game in a lot of different ways. But we can agree to disagree on that, while also acknowledging that this is just another Secret Lair product, and nobody needs to get up in arms worrying that this is going to be the end of the world, because there's nothing mechanically unique here. It's just some cool, goofy artwork, and we've already got Princess Bride and Evil Dead and My Little Pony, so let's just, lower the panic alarms a little bit here and get into the video, talk about these new cards. Before I do that, though, if you guys do enjoy the video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Click the bell icon if you want to be notified when new videos are posted, and we will get into it. So, on March 24th, there will be 3 new Secret Lairs announced, all Spongebob Squarepants. They will be releasing, I believe the time that they gave was 9 a.m., but I think it's Pacific time, so probably around noon. And there are going to be 3 of them. There is SpongeBob Internet Sensation, Legends of Bikini Bottom, I think it is, and then there's a Lands one. So we're going to look at the cards. I'm going to be honest with you as I go through this, because these were just revealed by Collider this morning. I don't know where the Secret Lair cutoffs happen. So, and you'll see what I mean as we go through the cards. I'm fairly certain one is like mainly creatures. The next one is like the meme cards. And then the next one is the lands. But there's like 7 creatures. So I don't know if one's a bonus card or how that all kind of slots out. But really what I'm looking at here is the cards. And I'm going to operate under the assumption that there's a distinct noticeable difference between what's what, but you'll see as we get into it. So starting off, we've got SpongeBob, which is a reskin of Joda the Unifier. Obviously the imagination artwork there, I like it. It's cool, it's colorful. I like that they didn't go too Magic the Gathering with it in terms of like trying to recreate SpongeBob characters in a Magic setting. I think that might have been way too cursed for the human eye. It's actively harmless. This is a really popular commander card, and it does kind of work well, because if you want to build a deck, with this as your commander, Joda is a great 5-color commander that gives you realistically a lot of different paths in which to build. So I think for people that maybe will see this and be interested and be like, oh, this is kind of cool, I want to buy into this, like at least you're getting a good baseline with which to build around if that's what you're looking to play. No harm, no foul on this. Joda's like a $5 to $7 card on average, depending on which variants of it you're going for. Decent enough inclusion. It's certainly not a bulk card, but it's not a huge value reprint. Overall, though, I think it's fine, and I do like the artwork and the choice. Now, Patrick's star is Barktooth Warbeard, which is actually a vanilla from Legends that has never been reprinted. It's like $3. I think it's hilarious that they took the most obscure vanilla you could think of and just boop, like plopped it on here. I don't think this card is going to see any kind of play unless it's for meme reasons, but it might be decent as a collectible just because it's Patrick, it's SpongeBob, it's so goofy. You'll probably be able to get this relatively cheap, though, if it's a card you want just for personal collection or aesthetic purposes. I do like the flavor text of I don't get it. It's brilliantly done. And this one, I thought maybe might fall into that meme one, but you'll see why I don't necessarily think that's going to be the case because of the similarity with a lot of these arts. Squidward Sarcastic Snob is Grazilax, the Ithalid Scholar. Another decent card. It's only a couple bucks. Doesn't have a ton of prints, but it's certainly playable. And it does fit Squidward to a T. I kind of like the top-down angle on this artwork here. And again, the flavor text is just 10 out of 10. They didn't try to do too much here or get too cute, which I like. I mean, obviously it's already quote-unquote cutesy because it's like a SpongeBob Secret Lair, so it's not high fantasy, but it's relatively grounded, all things considered. And I do like the artwork here. And of course, Illithid is a squid or some kind of, multi fucking, I don't know what you want to call it. I forget the term, but he looks like he's squid adjacent. And so it fits, while also being, funny, but it's not giving us much in terms of value, I don't think, in terms of the reprint. So it's just, something to consider. Now, Gary the Snail is Toxrill the Corrosive, which, while one of the most unpleasant cards to play against, is a very good reprint choice here. Toxrill is $20+ for his cheapest copy, and so it's good to have a little bit of value backing for the Secret Lair while also having, you know, just a popular... I like the artwork here. I think it's actually really funny, especially because it's like Toxrill's this big, like, repulsive beast, and this is just Gary with an empty food bowl, but it's actually a good choice as well, and people who are going to just play Toxrill will probably slot this as a commander. In some cases, while it does work in the 99 as well, I think Toxrill as a commander can be solid. And it is blue and black, so you have plenty of access to that. Flavor win and reprint choice win, in my opinion. Just good on both fronts. I have nothing bad to say about this inclusion, and it's probably my favorite card out of this drop here. And we've got Sandy Cheeks Martial Astronaut. This is Toski, Bearer of Secrets. Another really good reprint here for Toski. I think Toski is like a really solid card, not crazy value, but it usually falls around the $5 to $10 range more often than not. And every time it has been reprinted, it's started to rebound up from there. So I think in terms of, you know, a choice, Toski's pretty good. It's definitely playable in so many things, and it's a squirrel, so it makes sense. Just perfect casting. The artwork here is fine. It doesn't do anything for me, but it's not bad. It's just not... I mean, it's just Sandy, right? So there's nothing here to like really to talk about there in depth, but it's a good inclusion. And then this is where I got a little bit confused because we've got Plankton Tiny Tyrant here, and this is also this is Skrelv Defector Mite, pretty good reprint, $2 to $5 card ish. I think last I checked, it's decent. It's from Phyrexia All Be One. It was very good in standard. I think it's actually still standard legal, but it will be rotating soon if I remember correctly. But it's just one of those things where not a bad inclusion at all. But we were looking at, so far, I think it's a total of 6 or 7 creatures, and I don't know where the break point happens, if you will, because the article didn't give me a specific. Now, a lot of these are drawn by the same artist, which is Caleb Moore drew a bunch of them, and then so I'm wondering, is like 4 drawn by him and 3 drawn by Greg Schiegel? So I don't know where those are falling, if all 7 of these are going to be in the same Secret Lair, which is the Sensations. If that's the case, and all 7 of these are in the same Secret Lair, and it's the same normal pricing, because it's either $30 or $40, depending on foil and non-foil. I mean, this is an easy recommend for me if you like the material, because there's just a good assortment of cards and a good number of them. But there's possibility that A, one of these may be a bonus, or B, one may be in something else. Just kind of looking at the numbers, I mean, they seem to all be in chronological order in terms of potentially all being within the same Secret Lair, but I don't know. So just some food for thought on that. I don't know exactly how that breakdown is going to go yet, and as far as I know, there's not information out specifically clarifying it. I don't think we've seen too many of those, and then we get into Mr. Krabs Penny Pincher, which is also a reskin. This is Cherix the Raging Isle. Not worth a lot, but it's a crab, and it makes sense. I feel like it was a missed opportunity to not have like a Smothering Tithe Mr. Crab in there, or something more money related, but I digress. That would be giving us too good of a reprint, of course, so heaven forbid we do that. But yeah, so that's just kind of where I'm at with all these creatures. When you look at the amount of creatures, I don't know that all of these are going to be in the same Secret Lair, but maybe they are. I really don't know. Kind of as we go through them, because there are 7 cards total there. So food for thought. If anyone knows and wants to clarify in the comments, I'd be greatly appreciative, but I genuinely have no idea what to make of that. Maybe one of these gets slotted into another one. Now, we've got the meme Internet Sensations one. This is the greatest card ever made. This counterspell of the SpongeBob with the mocking voice. I always found that meme hilarious. I was joking when this was announced that they had to do some kind of negate thing with this, and they did, and they delivered, and this is perfect. I will be buying the Secret Lair because I want this card specifically. Obviously it's counterspell, so it's not gonna, I mean, this is gonna have, I think this will have some decent value, because the meme, never underestimate meme culture and how that can tie into value. That's all I'm saying. But this is just an awesome inclusion with fantastic choice of artwork, and just the fact that they just took memes and slapped them on cards is A+, flavor win for a company that sometimes struggles to get flavor right. So I'm happy with this. I think Counterspell's great. Knight's Whisper, another decent card with just goofy artwork. This is cool. It doesn't do as much for me as the Counterspell, but Knight's Whisper is always decent, and if you're liking the meme stuff, I don't want to discredit that either. Force of Despair is a really interesting card, because not only is it really good, it's like, I believe, at least last I checked, and I'm going to do live checking as we go here for these, because I completely forgot to look. This only has 2 prints. It was in Modern Horizons, and then it was in Secret Lair Showdown. Both copies are like, we'll call it $5 being generous, so it's not a crazy in-demand card, but the artwork here, obviously the meme of, Squidward inside watching. People have made tons of edits. Imagine getting like a Force of Will or one of the other Force cards. That would have been crazy. But I can understand why they didn't do it, even if I think that's kind of a bullshit reason. But Force of Despair, not terrible. The artwork is fine. It's at least a decent card, even if it's not like valuable. So I'm gonna, kind of copium, take that with a grain of salt here. Inevitable Betrayal is another one that I like. Search your opponent's library for a creature card, put it onto the battlefield under your control, then that player shuffles. Just again, this is a funny card. Not much value though. This is for Modern Horizons 2. It does play well with the suspend mechanic, but it's just kind of funny. This one is definitely one you're going after for the art and the flavor, I think. If you're into that and you appreciate those memes and whatnot, that's kind of where this is going to appeal to you. And then we've got Days, which is just really funny. Another meme that it's so funny seeing these memes actually printed onto official cards. Days is actually like, I don't know, $2 or $3, which is certainly not the worst. You can cast it free by bouncing an island, but then you counter a spell unless its controller pays 1. Just another variation of one of the counter spells, but not terrible. Like I said, personally, for me, I'm going to be getting this because I want the counter spell. But this is definitely, in my opinion, not a value-heavy Secret Lair. I'm assuming, obviously, that all 5 of these are going to be in the same one, which is where I get a little bit confused about that other one. Like, are all 7 or 8? I don't know how that's going to shake out. But this is okay. I don't think it's anything crazy, but it's funny, and it's actually, like, a good flavor win. And like I say in a lot of these videos, we're talking about Secret Lairs, like, art is so subjective, but, like, what people want and what you want to collect. The beauty of a Secret Lair is you can skip it, and it's fine. You don't have to buy it if you don't like it, especially when it's not mechanically unique cards, because it's really just something out there for everyone. And maybe you're gonna get somebody who's gonna be triggered because they have to see a SpongeBob card in their Magic game, which is like, all right, like, relax, like, get over it. It's just art on a card. It's still the same functionality in that regard. So especially when it comes to like non-unique cards, when it's just reprints, I have no tolerance for that nonsense. Like, relax. But this one's okay. It's not the best. And then we get the lands, which I actually have to say are kind of low-key really well designed. Some of the Universes Beyond lands we've gotten, like Fallout, I'm not a huge fan of. Even the Jurassic Park ones are okay, but they didn't do a ton for me. These are really well designed, and I think, callbacks to some great meetings within SpongeBob. I like these lands a ton. I don't necessarily love the idea of paying for a land Secret Lair, especially when they did do the Chaos thing where you could get like a bunch of the same land, but here we're back to this. But all the artworks on these lands are fantastic, and there is a food token as well that I think will be included. I just don't know which one. If you like the lands, I can't give a recommendation enough just in terms of the art and how cool they all look. It's just my biggest problem with Land Secret Lair is paying the same price for, lands versus what have you, especially when you only get one of each. But honestly, they did a great job with the artwork on the lands if you just want my kind of like, quick initial reaction here. So I think it might be worth it. I don't know if you like it, if it's something you like. If not, maybe picking up some of the lands separately because these are just kind of cool. And I think they look really good. The color pops well, and they did a great job, I think, making them look solid. So, as we just, bit of a recap here, the meme one is okay if you like that. I'm thinking the counterspell is phenomenal. The creature one, I don't know if all of these creatures are going to end up being in it, and if they are, it's absolutely a worthwhile buy. There's just no doubt about it. Maybe because the Patrick is a vanilla, they gave a little bit of leeway with it, and they threw an extra thing in there. But I guess we'll know for sure. But yeah, I would recommend 100% buying this one if you like the stuff, if it does end up having all of those cards in it. Well, here's the point of the video where I pass it over to you guys. Let me know what you think of what we've seen from today's video. Are you interested in the SpongeBob Secret Lair and planning on buying any of them? And if you're not, let me know. If you're just offended that it's, ruining your game, I would recommend perhaps taking a slight step back from the soapbox you're standing on and realize that it's probably all going to be okay. But again, I love to hear from everybody, so leave feedback in the comments down below, and I'll catch you in the next one.